Hearing loss is the third most common physical disability in the U.S. It's a disability that cannot be seen, yet it can really affect the way people live their lives. The Santa Barbara chapter of the Hearing Loss Association of America is one local organization involved in creating a more accessible city for people with hearing loss.
We're more the support end of the Nationals organization, so we're there more to educate people on how to live with a hearing loss. We teach them about the devices that are available to them, the different hearing aids, cochlear implants, and the emotional aspect of how to live with the hearing loss.
In Santa Barbara, one of the assistive listening devices that is becoming more common is the Hearing Loop.
Hearing Loop is an assistive listening system that transfers sound wirelessly to people's existing hearing aids. So people that already have hearing aids that are equipped with a T-coil, they can just press a button on the hearing aid and wirelessly receive the signal from a public venue that has a Hearing Loop installed.
Unlike other assistive listening devices, Hearing Loops enhance sound, not just make it louder.
It's the only system that you can use with your personal hearing aid. So we know that hearing aid is calibrated for your individual level of loss, much like eyeglasses would be. So using that instrument to receive the signal makes a world of difference.
Hearing loops are preferred because they are simple and discreet. There is no need to wear bulky headpieces, and they are compatible with hearing aids equipped with a T-coil.
It's very, very simple to use, way more simpler than anything else that could be done for us. It doesn't require us to have our own device. It doesn't require you to stand out, in front of other people with a headset on or whatever. You just discreetly walk in, you turn your coil on, and you're already into the loop.
This particular assistive listening device has been installed in many local venues thanks to the advocacy done by Loop Santa Barbara.
Loop Santa Barbara is a project of the Independent Living Resource Center. We received grant funding from the California Communications Access Foundation to do this project in Santa Barbara County. Our mission is to educate people about hearing loop technology and its benefits.
So far, 23 buildings in Santa Barbara have been looped, covering entertainment venues, churches, and city government buildings. These include the Libero Theater, the City Council chambers in Santa Barbara, and here at the Trinity Episcopal Church. Let's go take a look.
People think of spiritual practice as things like prayer and meditation, but for us, inclusion is one of our most important spiritual practices. So we're always looking for ways to make our community accessible to more people. In order to include and allow full participation of people with different hearing abilities, we needed a way of assisting them in listening.
It's not going to sound as a distance, it's going to sound like they're right there on stage. So it is probably the best system that we've had, and so this is a great starting place for us with the Hearing Loop. It's going to want them to come back even more and enjoy and be able to partake in these various shows and events and concerts that we have here.
It's important in any society that all citizens have an equal opportunity to participate, particularly in government. That is one of the reasons the city created the Access Advisory Committee.
The purpose of the committee is to improve city facilities, access for people with disabilities to city facilities, and also to the city's programs, activities, and services. They meet quarterly. Actually, we wouldn't have known about hearing looping had a member of the community not come to the Access Advisory Committee and told us, hey, there's this great technology that can reach a lot of people in the city of Santa Barbara, and you should consider putting it into some of your public meeting rooms.
Although Santa Barbara is one of the most accessible cities in California, there are still barriers that people with disabilities have to face in their everyday lives here.
The barriers that are there would be both accessibility, physical accessibility, as well as attitudinal barriers. Oftentimes, historically, people with disabilities have not been looked at equally compared to those who are non-disabled. So it's about kind of changing those perceptions of people and showing that we can live independently, we can make our own decisions, and we can live independent lives in general.
If you have a hearing disability and would like to know if a facility has a hearing loop, look for the little blue sign with an ear on it.
A lot of times, a lot of our patrons didn't know that we had it here. And so it was their first opportunity to wirelessly tune in with their hearing aids for a performance. And some people have come up to me and said over the years that they had lost their hearing, and it takes them back to when they were younger and that they're able to hear clearly.
People who are hard of hearing maybe were not able to be as involved as they can be now because they couldn't hear clearly what the city council or whatever board it was saying, and so they weren't able to speak to what was being said because they weren't an active part of the process. And now with the looping, it's given them the ability to be that active voice that they should have been all along.
There was a huge sigh of relief of a fairly large percentage of our congregation who have some form of hearing loss, and were suddenly able to participate again. Maybe the most remarkable comment I heard was from a man who on the very first day, after deciding that he wasn't going to come to church anymore because he couldn't hear, on the very first day the loop was in, he listened and he said that he could hear the water pouring from the cruet into the chalice. And to have that accessibility to sound is something even people of full hearing ability didn't have.